Hello, everybody. Welcome to the next session of From Nothing, Lorna's story. As we go ahead.
You will.
You wish.
Oops.
Fucking whore.
Okay,
Yeah, misclicked.
we're going to pick up basically where we left off as Lorna and her crew are leaving the tome. And Shart is nowhere to be seen.
Fuck you, Will.
Anyway, as you and your party leave the dusty ruin of what was once a temple, let me go ahead and pull up the desert once more. All right. It is later in the afternoon. And as you and your party are striking out anew, I'd like you to roll a d8.
Okay. 2.
As you're walking, it's hot and it's uncomfortable. But there is a moment when, as you're walking, Tier nudges up next to you and he says, "Hey, when we have a minute, can I have a word?"
Always, but I guess it depends on what kind of minute you need.
Just a private word, where no one is listening. For certain.
She kind of looks at the open desert stretched out before them. So when do you think that minute will be?
I don't know. Just when we have one, maybe when people are sleeping.
That's okay. That makes sense. Yes. Sure.
Thank
Are you okay?
I'm fine. There's just a thing.
Insight check.
Okay.
Is he
Roll an
blind?
insight check.
21.
Yeah, he seems fine. He definitely has something on his mind. But he seems wary.
Uh-huh. Is he looking in any specific directions? Or is he
He's looking at
not
you.
giving anything away? Sure.
He's not giving anything in detail away.
Yeah, we can talk.
I appreciate it. As you and your group are walking, you suddenly come across the ground in front of you is beginning to crack and break and split, as there are all of these small crevices in the dry ground. But that's not really a concern. You've come across that before. What is alarming is that there is this thorny brush that is growing up out of these cracks. And it is covering everything in front of you. At a distance,
it's hard to navigate.
Yes. In fact, it looks like it's going to cut through your boots if you're not careful.
Oh.
This thorny brush, which Tier says, "This is Skyrask bramble. Why is it out here?"
Does it not normally grow in deserts?
I guess it does. I've just never seen this much of it.
How big is this swath that we've found ourselves? Is this something that we can walk around? Is it better to walk through it?
Looking left and right, you don't see an end to it.
But forward? How far does it look like it goes?
Roll me investigation.
Okay. 22.
It's hard to tell exactly, but you think it's like at least 800 feet.
Oh, that's a long bit. Do you know how this... She looks at Tier. Is it something that fire could clear up?
In pieces, aye, but it's
gonna take a while.
It takes a while. This weed just soaks up all the water it can, hence the dry ground, so it doesn't actually take fire very well.
Do you know what it is susceptible to?
No. I mean, cutting, but there's just so much of it.
Right, but if we can walk single file, if we carve our way through it, it's better than trying to pick our way through and ripping our feet open.
We can, it's just going to take a long time. But that is a way.
I could ferry everyone across since I can fly.
You could probably, I mean, no offense, Lorna, you could probably ferry one or two of us across and then need a nap.
I've been working on my strength.
Oh, yeah?
Been doing push-ups.
I see everything, and I don't think you've been doing the kind of push-ups that actually improve strength. In fact, I think Einstein was doing most of them.
Well, can I do... She's gonna crouch down, and she's gonna do a little experiment. Okay. She's gonna cast Shocking Grasp on one of them. Does it do any damage to it? Does it, like, clear it up?
As you shock it... as you shock it, you see that, like, the edges of this thorny weed seems to, like, shift and recoil, and this fine pollen strikes up into the air, and I need you to make a con save.
Oh no. Teetered off a good roll. 11.
11. You sneeze immediately, and your eyes water. You have disadvantage on perception checks.
Allergies. Ugh. Okay, that didn't do anything at all. Requiem.
Yes?
What's the biggest flying thing you can turn into?
An eagle, I think.
A big eagle?
An eagle.
Just a regular eagle. You can turn into a horse, buddy. You can't be something bigger?
I can try.
Can you please?
Requiem turns into an eagle.
That's not big enough.
He also doesn't flap, so he just kind of floats there, wings outstretched, and he says, I'm sorry.
No. Don't be sorry. Okay. I guess we should start cutting.
You get the idea that there is a CR limit to what Requiem can turn into.
Poor buddy.
Yeah. Okay. So you... Do you start cutting?
I mean, the cutters, people who are proficient in cutting should start cutting.
Anscom and Lilith, like, look at you, and then look at each other. Right. Well, go on, big guy. Lilith is, like, fouling behind him. Just like a drill, he says as he pulls the Dragonbone longsword into his hands, and he begins to slowly carve a swath. So this is going to take a while.
Mm-hmm.
But you are making progress, and nobody has to make any saves. Okay. All right. It is slow going. But you move basically at a quarter speed through this.
Ugh.
But as you press your way through, and it pushes on into evening, you finally get to the other side of the Sky Rasp thorn brush.
Ooh, that looked like tiring work.
Yeah. Anscom, like, lets the sword disappear, and his shoulders are just loose and spent.
You looked great doing it, though.
That's great.
Maybe we should just rest here for tonight, now that we're through it.
That's not a bad idea. See if I can find a place that's maybe a little out of the way. and Tier is gonna look for a campsite. Okay. You all kind of follow Tier off out of the way of this. And the bramble patch, you went through like a thinner part of it, and it's still spreading out like around you. Like,
Ugh.
it's just huge amounts of this stuff. Tier leads the way, and you walk for maybe 10 more minutes before he reaches a side of what looks like a cliff that has a low overhang that turns into an archway. And he looks at that, and he says, well, this seems like good cover, just in case.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go ahead and get set up. And that is where Tier has chosen for you guys to camp.
Is Nora going to do her bubble?
Yeah, she's already working on the ritual.
Excellent.
So we go ahead and move you to a campsite image, even though the campsite does not look like this at all.
Wow, look at all this fresh running water.
Huh? Oh no,
Oh,
Lorna's
just a
lost it.
mirage.
Oh.
It's just a mirage. Oh god.
No one seems amused. As you settle up, trying to sort a watch order, you know that Tier wants to speak with you.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go to the camp watch order and decide who's going where.
Lorna will go first with Tier,
Okay.
and she would like Skolna and Anscombe second because she did talk to Skolna like yesterday about talking to Anscombe about their plans in Malachor. So she'll kind of stay up into their second watch to have that conversation.
Okay. All right. And we have our watch order. So, as we begin our campsite, go ahead and roll me perception, and Tier will roll as well.
I'll just give him advantage.
Okay. All right. You settle in with some rations, kind of tucked in as the light grows darker and the sky turns to the star-dappled black of evening out here. And he waits 30 minutes into the watch before he turns to you. Okay, I'm gonna try and be a little quiet because I need your opinion.
Oh, you've never asked her my opinion before.
Well, you know Skolna better than I do, and I think she likes me.
Lorna's whole expression, actually, she's gonna try to keep a straight face. It's very difficult.
Could you finish swallowing the lemon?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so why do you think that?
I mean, I'm pretty good at reading people.
Mm-hmm.
I found something in my pack that I know I saw Skolna pluck a couple days ago.
What?
A desert lily.
Oh. And it ended up in your pack, huh?
Yeah. And if there's one thing you and I both know, Skolna doesn't do anything by accident.
No, and not for no reason.
I don't have
No.
a good track record with the romance in our party. And I'm worried, okay? I don't want to hurt her or hurt anyone else. And I want this team to work. And once things start getting emotional, as we've seen in the past, they can become complicated.
Well, I feel like the most important thing is how do you feel about it?
I mean, I love Skolna. She's caring and sweet and quiet about it, and she doesn't ever do anything so that other people see. She does it because she thinks it's the thing she wants to do. I have a lot of respect for her. But
Yeah, I do too.
I know she's dealing with things. I know that she has more darkness in her past than, well, I can't speak for you, but for certain, I'm afraid of being a distraction in the wrong way.
Well, um, I suppose in a perfect world where you didn't really have to worry about any consequences, what would you like to do about it?
Without consequences. I don't know. I mean, that's such a hard hypothetical. I mean, come on.
It's hard not to think about the consequences, right?
The problem
What
is,
does your gut tell you?
I'm afraid of hurting her. Because I
Hmm.
hurt Nore, and I know I probably hurt you.
No, you didn't.
Okay, that's a plus. Okay, that's a small weight off the shoulders that I thought was there, ain't?
And see, that's the thing. That's what happens when you assume things. Even if you're trying not to do the wrong thing, you might be inadvertently doing it anyways. You kind of thought that maybe you had an understanding in your relationship with Nore that wasn't accurate.
Right.
You just have to air it out. You need to say what you're thinking and what you're feeling and what you want. And if that's
In
not
every case,
reciprocated,
look, in every case when I've had that conversation, the question of what am I not good enough for you comes up every time. And that's not how it is.
sure. But that just means that person isn't equipped for that situation. And that tells you everything you need to know in that moment. That's probably just not going to work out. But if you talk about it and they understand or they accept that, then you know it will work. You know what I'm saying? You haven't even asked. And
You're
I feel like she knows that about you. And she still gave you that flower.
Has she said anything about me? You're the
Lorna
only
kind
person that she talks to.
of Lorna kind of looks up at the stars in the sky, and kind of like she doesn't say anything. She doesn't say yes, but she kind of looks back at Tier, and her expression says it all.
What did she say?
Um, Enough to tell me I think you should go for it. But there is a caveat to that. And it's not about you, and it's not about the way you demonstrate love and affection. That's not a part of it. It's that she doesn't think right now that she can be happy or that she deserves it or that it's possible while she still has this thing hanging over her from her past. She believes that that needs to be resolved before she can move on and actually embrace this thing that she feels.
Okay.
So if you make a decision that you want to act on this, if that's what you decide you want to do, I would say do it after.
Okay. I'll take what you
But
said to heart.
I really support it.
You what?
I really support it.
What? I mean, that's nice.
I know you don't need it, but you have it.
No, I do need it. All right. Thank you. for your opinion. I will consider. Also, she's scary.
I know, but that's what makes it exciting.
For you?
I mean, hey, if I had a chance, I think I would have tried, but I don't. There's not really anything there.
Tier, like, narrows his eyes at you.
She's really cool.
Yeah, she is. Okay. I think I understand. Um, I
My
think...
last bit of advice is just to keep your eyes open because I think she likes that.
She looks... My eyes being open?
She likes it when you pay attention. I know you just do that naturally, but
I see. How much did she tell you?
Lorna just shrugs.
You're the worst liar I've ever seen.
That wasn't a lie. It just wasn't an answer.
Right. It was enough of an answer. All right. Okay. Thank you. And I
Mm-hmm.
will pay attention.
Mm-hmm. Oh, can I braid your hair?
Why?
I don't know. I think it'd look nice.
Okay. Sure.
I have an idea. Can I put the lily in it?
Yeah,
I think that'd be like a good kind of acknowledgement.
probably. I
All
mean,
right, come
she
here.
won't miss it.
I think it'll look really nice. The colors.
I do have to also pay attention.
You look out. I'll braid your hair.
Great. Sure. You spend the rest of the watch braiding Tier's hair.
She puts the lily in it in just like a very aesthetically pleasing way. Just kind of like, he's got like she'll do it so that it goes over his shoulder. And then it's kind of like nestled right at that point where it rests on his shoulder. Just kind of like right there.
Okay.
Mhm.
Your watch passes without incident. And as Tier is going to bed, you awaken Skolna and Anscombe.
Mhm.
You see Skolna looks like spots the lily in Tier's hair, and she averts her eyes, and you see her cheeks turn a little darker purple.
Lorna's fucking giddy.
Hello, darling.
Oh, good morning. I was gonna stay up with you for just a little bit longer.
Okay, is everything all right?
Everything's great.
Oh, good.
That's a nice change, right?
It is, yeah. It's a nice change of pace.
Mhm.
Something... He, like, looks at between you and Skolna. What's going on?
We have a plan a few weeks down the road after we finish up here in Shona.
Okay.
Gonna kind of slide in between coming back from Shona and re-arriving in Ferrum. We just want to make sure you're on board with it.
A plan for what?
She'll look at Skolna like, do you want me to take the lead?
She nods.
Okay. There is some unfinished business in Malachor. Uh, Something that needs to be settled for Skolna. And I promised that I would help her because it's very personal
Oh,
and important.
what is it?
Uh, a vampire has to die.
Okay.
Does that sound like something you'd be amenable to joining us on?
Oh, yeah, sure. I was waiting for it to get complicated.
Well, there's a little bit of planning that will be involved in getting this vampire on his own, but we've
Well,
kind
I
of worked out
imagine it is a
how we want to
vampire.
tackle this. hmm But we already have a plan, so all you have to do is show up and look pretty and swing your sword.
I'm good at least one of those. What is... Can I know what the plan is?
Yes, we're going to walk back from Shona to Augur City, use the Arcanium to teleport to Malachor. We're going to spend a day tracking this vampire's movements to uh, understand his schedule, scope the location, and then the next day we're going to get him into a private area, probably an alley, and we're going to kill him, and then we're going to leave.
Okay. That seems remarkably thought out and straightforward to me.
It has been a process to make sure we understood what we were doing and why we were doing it, and now we just need to get the whole team on board.
And we know for sure this vampire will be caught alone.
Or no, we'll look at Skolna.
Skolna kind of gives like a half shrug. It's the way it was. Might have changed.
But that's what our day in advance is for. We're confirming. And if something's changed, we'll take the time to figure out how to adapt our plan to it.
Okay. You know, teleporting's going to be a little expensive since it's not Merigard sponsored, right?
We'll figure it out.
I'm just saying, maybe if we get a bonus or we have an opportunity to make a little gold beforehand, we should.
All right. We'll prioritize that while we're in Shona.
Oh, I'm
Unfortunately,
sure there's plenty of work.
I was just going to say we do the thing for the Hydra in Shona. We will be going to Malachor before we get paid for that.
Yep.
Um, unless, well, I don't know how much the teleport's going to be. I don't know if either of you know that.
Not off the top of my head, but I remember it wasn't cheap.
If we're just absolutely unable to do it, we might have to, and she'll look at Skolno, we might have to go to the Marigard first just to get our paycheck.
Skolna, like, looks at you, and she looks a little frustrated, but she nods.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be sooner rather than later, regardless. So,
Exactly.
what's the next thing on the agenda after the Hydra?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm
That's
fine
all
to
we
help.
wanted to talk about.
Oh, okay.
Lorna will give him a kiss on the cheek.
That's a relief.
You're very agreeable. That's what I love about you.
I like to make sure things go easy. So are you gonna go to bed then?
Yep. Yeah, yes, I will go to bed.
And then you hear Anscombe turn to Skolna and say, "Are you okay? Are you sick? Cheeks are looking a little..." And Skolna just walks away. Okay.
Good night.
Good night. Oh, it's gonna bite me in the ass, son. I don't know why.
Gonna wake up with bugs in his bed or something.
Yeah. Okay. I have some rolling to do. Okay. It is just before dawn when you are awoken by Nore shouting, "Everyone up!"
Oh shit. Laura gets up. What? What's happening?
You see why, as hundreds of hourglass-shaped scorpions are surrounding the bubble.
Uh,
We've only got an hour left. They just showed up.
we can strike out of the bubble, right?
You can. I can't leave.
Right. No, I got this. Are they crawling on the bubble?
No, they're like skittering around it. Um, they're like moving in circles around the bubble. It looks like some of them have tried to go into the bubble and just it's a wall. So
That's easy solution. Don't even worry about it. Lorna will fly up and out of the bubble, like
okay,
50 feet
yeah,
up.
you fly up. Yes, you fly out of the
How
bubble.
how wide is the radius of these many scorpions?
There's like 80 of them, and
That's nothing.
they're filling the squares around the bubble, but 15 feet away from the bubble, there's none.
Okay. All right. Um, Stay in there, and she's gonna pluck a fireball bead off her necklace and just like, huck it down.
Okay. Uh, roll me a d100.
Gonna Hiroshima these fucking cockroaches or whatever they are.
They're scorpions.
D100. Yep. Are all bugs to me. 96.
Okay. Hold on. A 96. All right. As you throw this bead down, and it collides with the top of the bubble, and then just spreads out in this strange. The fireball originally looks orange, but it like the ends of the flames are like white with blue tinges to them, and you smell purple. You smell colors, and it's like a hint of cotton candy at the end.
Hmm.
Roll damage for the fireball, 8d6.
8 to 6. I rolled
You
pretty
rolled you
dang
rolled
good.
pretty good, so
33.
none of them will survive, even if they fail or even if they succeed. So the fireball spreads out in a flame, licking across the ground, leaving just dozens of these hourglass-shaped scorpions, blackened and crisp and dead.
Mm. Breakfast.
You hear from Saccharin, "Oh, that was a weird one. I'm sorry." And you and all of your allies are vulnerable to piercing damage for the next minute.
Oh, okay. Lorna dives back into the bubble just in case something happens in that singular minute.
Yeah, but you burn all the scorpions. They're all gone.
Okay.
That was quick thinking.
Well, I like to carry explosives on me at all times for just such occasions.
Right, clearly. And Nore like looks to the rest of the party and says, "Crisis averted." Everyone just kind of like, "Oh, all right," and they all go back to bed.
I
Uh,
wonder if those are edible.
you say that out loud
She idly thinks it. I mean, she idly says it.
as Tierra's like laying down. He says, "As edible as spiders.
How edible are those?
You can eat them. They just don't taste great. You know,
Ah, okay.
it's a
Oh,
bit
I don't
like
think we're
land
starving quite
crab.
yet.
No,
Eh, eh, mm.
stringy.
Eh. Okay, Lorna goes back to bed.
You have successfully dealt with the scorpions,
Woo!
and you can go ahead and hit the long rest button.
Fuck. I rolled to get charges back on my staff. I only got 3 back. That sucks.
That's how it goes.
Heck.
Moment while I have everybody take a long rest.
Hmm. Are you amenable to a creative interpretation of the Presti cantrip?
That depends on how creative.
It's a very simple want, but I understand if it wouldn't work. She wants to preserve the flower she put in Tier's hair. Basically, like, so it won't wilt.
Okay.
A little, well, like a resining, just, just to keep it from wilting.
I
It's
see.
such a small ask.
Because you're a transmutation wizard, I'll say that you can use your transmuter stone to do it instead. You
Okay.
literally touch the transmuter stone to the lily, and the outermost layer of chloroplast you turn into like a wax. And I need you to roll me a spellcasting check.
Ooh. 24.
Oh, yeah. You preserve the lily using your transmuter stone.
Let's say if it is possible that she did this while she was waving it into Tier's hair and she doesn't acknowledge it. She doesn't tell Tier that she did it. She doesn't tell anyone that she did it.
Sure.
It just won't ever wilt.
Or it won't ever show that it's wilting, basically.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay, you do that. Sure. You
If
know
he
that sometime in the future it will eventually just turn into powder, basically. But that
if
should
it's
be quite a
yeah.
while.
Mm-hmm. Lorna's a little pleased with herself, but she doesn't say a thing.
You cannot help but notice the next day that Skolna keeps glancing at the desert lily in Tier's braided hair over his shoulder.
Lorna is fucking chuffed. He looks very handsome. She
As
did a very careful job with his braid.
as you all are getting ready to go, Lilith gives Tier like a playful kick in the boots. New style, huh? Yeah, thought I might try something inspired. You know how it is. And Lilith's like, what do you mean? Well, Skolna's got braids, so I thought maybe I would try it. See how it looks in pink rather than purple. Why are you getting defensive?
I think it looks dashing.
I'm not defensive. Fuck you, Lilith. And Lilith just and just walks
Oh,
off.
jeez. She's getting added to Skolna's list so hard. She was
Lilith's
already
been
there.
on Skolna's list, yeah.
Yeah. She's not doing herself any favors.
No, doesn't look like it. But you and your group continue on for the next day of travel. 3 days to Shona.
Woo!
Okay. As you are following Tier out here, he's leading the way. You've been traveling for a few hours now, and it's pressing into the early, afternoon. It's just 1 o'clock. And as it does, you don't believe you've been following a road or anything of any kind. You're following a direction, basically. There's no evidence of other people traveling here. But Tier, holds up a hand and he points. Yo, do y'all see that?
Squint?
In the distance, it looks like an individual is kneeling with a cloak on in the sand.
Someday we'll learn to mind our own business.
Is today that day?
I don't know. Well, let's just keep moving. See if we can manage to mind our own business.
Okay. As you get closer, you see that this figure is kneeling beneath a natural arch in the stone and sand around it. But you realize something looks a little off as you're getting closer.
Gotcha.
The cloak is not shifting.
Like an illusion?
No. It's once you get within 500 feet of the thing, Tier says, "Oh, it's a statue."
Oh, well, that doesn't mean all is safe. She's gonna turn her detect magic on.
What's the range on detect magic?
Oh, that's a good question.
I don't think it's 500 feet.
30 feet
Yeah.
from you. All
So,
right, well, she'll have them on, but, as they get closer, she'll keep her eyes on that statue.
okay. As you're getting closer, how close do you guys get? Close enough to investigate it?
Yes. I
When,
can't mind my own business.
when you get 30 feet away from the statue, there is hints of divine magic around it.
Oh,
And
okay.
the statue is in the shape of a person. The hood is drawn low over their face. One hand is holding, like tucked up under the elbow, a bowl. And the other hand has in its hand outstretched a dagger. The dagger is built into the statue. It doesn't look like you can take it. It's not like a metal dagger. It looks like it's stone. You can roll a religion check if you want.
Sure. 16?
You see something familiar on this statue. Around the neck of the statue, you see, emblazoned in the same sandstone as the rest of it, is a holy symbol of Tyrus.
Oh. Hey, this place seems to be very influenced by a particular deity.
I think, well, that ruin was once a cathedral,
Mm-hmm.
and this is a statue to the same entity. This might have been a ghost town, or an old settlement that was devoted to Tyrus, and these are just the last vestiges. The desert swallowed up the rest.
Mm-hmm. Well, if any of you feel like making an offering, I'm sure this is a good place, but I'm kind of spoken for, personally.
Norre steps forward
Oh.
and places 2 gold in the bowl. What you have seen at every other shrine is the gold or tithe or whatever offering is somehow burned or taken or accepted or vanished by the entity that is accepting it. These 2 coins, they just sit in the bowl and nothing happens.
What do you think that is?
Must not be a shrine. What is this then? And Nori begins to like walk around the statue to try and like find something.
Lorna sighs, but she joins.
Roll investigation.
Terrible. 12.
There is a small piece of evidence on the front of the statue that's covered in sand, and as Nora is investigating, she brushes a lot of the sand away to reveal that the statue is actually like on top of a stone like pillar, basically. A platform. And at the base of the platform, right at the feet of this statue, is a placard. Hold on a minute. I have to find this in my notes. This statue is labeled the Silent Pilgrim.
Mm-hmm.
There is a plaque that's written in Draconic.
It
says, I know, it says, "Let my breath still, that hers may burn. Let my journey end, so her gaze may turn. Here I knelt, that Tyrus might see not my face, but the shadow I cast in devotion's place.
Lorna reads that out loud in common.
They wanted to distract Tyrus from something? Is that what that means?
I am not so good at riddles, considering how intelligent I should be.
Is it a riddle? I mean, this statue's been out here for... how long?
I would wager quite some time.
You notice, and Tier points it out suddenly, that the wind seems to have calmed as you read it out loud.
Oh.
And when you finish reading it off in common, a faint sapphire glow pulses from the chest of the statue beneath the cloak.
Is there something on the statue in that area that she could see?
Roll me a perception.
18.
You realize there's something in your peripheral, and as you're looking at the statue, there is a pale blue corona around it, as if the same radiant light that emanates from the lesser blue sun in the sky. And your shadow behind you seems to have stretched long and serpentine, cast not by the suns above, but by the illusion of that corona from the statue before you.
Okay,
As you feel as though you feel like an urge to offer something of importance.
Oh.
Not something of value, but of something that meant something. Something personal.
Hmm.
And then, as you're considering it, you hear, not in your own words from when you said it, but the faint echo. Let the ash bear my name.
I think we have to burn something?
Burn
Something important. Something sentimental.
something... maybe an enemy? Something that was a foe's? I mean, she's all about vengeance, right?
It's true.
Or
but,
justice or whatever. Is it the same? Do
I
you
mean,
have
how many of
anything?
you have something sentimental of an enemy's?
Lilith suddenly steps forward. She just looks at you and then sets a bone hairpin in the bowl.
Is that your offering?
She nods as she steps back. And the instant she steps away, it's as though a blue cloud of flame just out from the bowl. And the bone hairpin is immediately disintegrated into ash and dust. And it doesn't say Tyrus in the ash, but it does say Hail.
Whoa. Lorna, like, blinks and looks at Well, was that hers?
Lilith nods.
How did you get something like that?
When she recruited me, I was in her sanctum. You know, with that big fucking muscle man and shit.
Yep, I remember.
I slipped it from a vanity in the corner.
Wow.
I thought I might be able to sell it, but it's just
This
bone.
is better.
Yes, it is.
I think you might have gotten a bit of a blessing on your goal.
I hope you're right. If there's anybody who deserves dragon fire, it's her.
Lorna just nods. Yeah.
And then, almost like a not a real prayer, but just like looking at the statue, she says, "You gonna help me avenge my sister?" And there is almost like a thunderous echo coming through the sand, like a cataclysmic wave that passes in a ripple, as though a stone in a pond. And all of you hear, "Yes."
Woo!
Lilith, who was originally sardonic and wry, her eyes are just open wide, and she's just looking at the statue. Oh.
That's a good sign.
Yeah. You still got that book?
Lorna nods and hands over the it's the Talon Sky Canticles, I
Yes.
believe. Yep. Here it is. You gonna do a little reading?
Yeah, I am.
Oh.
And
She seems
Lilith,
convicted.
she seems more severe than you think you've seen her ever.
Moved. Touched.
She looks at the book, cracks open the first page, and starts reading.
Okay. Let's go.
Yes, I'll walk. We're good.
Mm-hmm.
Nore, like, looks in the bowl, sees her 2 gold coins are still there.
Mm.
She shrugs and just leaves them. It's an ill omen to take an offering from a tithe bowl.
Yeah. It wouldn't feel right.
She shakes her head and continues onward. Someone more desperate than me might go for it.
And face our wrath.
I'd pass on that part, And Nore just begins walking with the rest of you. All right, you have seen the Silent Pilgrim.
Mm-hmm. And got a blue fire in Lilith.
Apparently, as you and your party continue onward, more dice to roll. It's getting later in the evening when you come across something else. And you, at this point, you kind of make a connection that there must have been a road here. It's long gone or long buried in the sand. You don't know how long ago it was. But on the side of the road, you see there is an overturned wagon that is half buried. It has been completely nondescript for miles.
Mm-hmm.
So, ever since the Silent Pilgrim, it's been pretty much boring out here. Dull and hot and unpleasant. But as you come across this overturned wagon, you see that a skeleton is resting nearby with a satchel over its shoulder. It is like it's like a skew. It looks like there's an arrow that is long since half broken in its chest. But this is the remains of what looks like a robbery or an attack or something. But it's been out here long enough that the skeleton is bleached white.
Mm-hmm. Well, it couldn't hurt to poke around. It's not like he's using whatever he's got on it.
You see that on the satchel, it is full of tiny spice jars.
Oh.
It's labeled in old Aurelian script. It's very old. It's very old. It's been out here a long time. A lot of the spices... A lot of them don't look edible. A lot of them look like the jars have cracked from the weather, or like they've just turned to like black powder, basically. But one of them is labeled ash pepper. And it is known for a couple things. Roll me a religion check.
Okay.
A lot of that today, it seems.
19.
You make a connection here as this caravan, this wagon, was likely heading towards whatever cathedral that was, as ash pepper is an extremely rare seasoning that was once used for rituals, particularly rituals to the sun gods. It is potent, and when something is prepared using ash pepper, it grants a bonus to attack rolls for a day.
Oh. Bonus to attack rolls.
If you consume something traded with ash pepper, it's basically a +1 for until a long rest.
Yeah, yoink.
Yeah. The jar itself is like fragile and thin. It likely wasn't before, but sand just from blowing over this satchel and this body has weathered the jar on one side so that it's almost about to break. But it looks like there are 3 doses of ash pepper. A dose can fit an entire meal. So you have 3 days of ash pepper +1, basically.
Okay.
You know that it has a very strong flavor, and it's actually something Lorna would have tried before, back home.
He's a little rich kid.
Yep. It's a strong flavor.
Is there anything else? Do my magical eyeballs?
Oh, yes. With magic eyeballs, yes.
Mm-hmm.
You see that as the wagon is overturned, there is, nailed underneath the wagon, a short bow.
Oh, praise all of the gods.
It doesn't have a string. It looks like it's been here years, but it's a magical short bow.
Lorna scuttles over to it, finds it, pries it off the bottom of the wagon where it was.
It's like underneath the driver's seat. It looks like it was there for an emergency, and then it just never got used.
Well,
doesn't have a string, so it needs to be restrung, but you notice that this particular short bow has lots of ornate maker's markings all over it. It's very finely built. Mm-hmm. And as you're holding it, you feel even you would do very well with this short bow. It seems to dance in your fingertips. And when you hold it out, it like wants to point to a direction of an enemy.
Can Lorna expend a first level spell slot to identify this?
Yes.
See if she can get more info.
It is a short bow +2.
Lorna will skitter over to Tier and say, "Hey, bow guy, can you string this?"
Can I string this? Yeah, I could string that.
Great. It is yours. And she'll lean in really close, like lips next to his ear, and say, "You should give it to Skolna."
Uh, Skolna's like pretty close,
Mhm.
and
She
T
tried really hard to keep that
roll
between
stealth.
her and
Roll stealth.
Tier. Oh. Ooh, a dirty 20. That's pretty good for Lorna. Really good for Lorna.
Okay. Skolna is currently investigating the overturned wagon, and you don't think she heard you.
Oh my god.
And Tier, like, when you say that, he just turns and looks at you. I know. That's a good idea.
I know, right?
And you watch as he begins the process. He like reaches into his pack and pulls a long string, and he like bends this new short bow over his knee, and he like winds the first end of it up, and he like measures how long it has to be, and pulls out a knife and cuts the string. He like restrings.
She gives him
the
a nice
short
swat on the butt and says, "Good luck," and walks
Oh.
away.
Savor that while you can. Oh, Skolna!
Like, what the fuck is going on?
Everyone else is like watching what's happening and just is a little confused. But you watch as Tier, like very theatrically, like drops to one knee and holds with both hands up over his head, holds up this short bow. Skolna looks at it, and when she doesn't take it right away, Tier says, "Go on, it's for you. It's perfect, really. I mean, how often have you needed a magical weapon and we just didn't have one?" And then finally Skolna, like, takes the short bow. She seems excited about how light it is. She, like, raises it up and plays around with it for a little bit, and then she takes her old short bow off of her back out of its sheath. She just holds it out to Tier. Oh, yeah, sure, I'll throw your garbage away. And he takes the old short bow, and Skolna slides the new magical one into its sheath. And you see, for the first time, literally ever, when Tier stands up and, like, tucks the old short bow away into his pack, Skolna just looks at him, and she smiles at him.
Oh. That's a really cute smile, too.
It doesn't look forced. And you learn in this moment, Skolna has cheek dimples.
Oh my god! I'm gonna weep. She's so cute. Dimples. Fuck me.
I didn't expect that to be the reveal it was. All right.
I want to romance Skolna so hard, but I have to do it vicariously through Tier.
Tier seems very pleased with Skolna's reaction, and you have looted this old ancient ruin of a spice merchant, which you only found the bow because of your detect magic. It was like covered in sand.
Fuck yeah, and it was so worth it.
And you guys continue onward. You continue onward to your next camp. And let me go ahead, roll for Tier. Okay. Oh, he natural 20'd.
He's having a good day.
I don't think there's a chance for any of my encounters out here to find the camp with that. So I'm just going to say you guys take a long rest.
Away!
And we will move on. The next day, there's only, I think, 2 more days to Shona. All right. All right. Hold on a minute. Okay. All right. As you and your party are heading along, it is early in the morning when you strike out. It is before the heat of the day, so you're making good time. And the path that you're taking towards Shona, you find yourselves traveling beneath the massive bones, the enormous rib cage of what looks like what once was a huge worm. Maybe a purple worm, something enormous and round, has died, and the sand has cleansed its bones to create this tunnel of enormous rib bones. And as you're making your way through it, Tierra stops and points. Hold on. Do you see what I see? And he's pointing, and you see that there are 3 green-skinned goblins that are riding what look like hyenas or jackals or something like that. And they are prowling around the base of the ribs. They're pretty far from you. They're like 100 feet away. You haven't been noticed by them yet. But as Tierra's pointing, you see up in the ribs is a wormling.
Like a dragon wormling?
Yes.
Oh, what color? That's
Blue.
important. Oh. Does Lorna know anything about blue dragons or their wormlings?
Roll Arcana.
Arcana. Natural 20 for 28.
Blue dragons are brutal parents. They give birth to they hatch the eggs of their wormlings and then basically cast them out to learn how to survive on their own.
Mm-hmm.
And this blue wormling is in trouble. These goblins are trying to climb the ribs to catch up to this wormling, and you realize the wormling is injured. One of its wings is wounded, and it cannot fly. It's climbed up these ribs to get away from these goblins, and they can't get up to it. But you hear them jeering and calling. Do you speak Goblin?
No.
You don't know what they're saying, and none of your party speaks Goblin either.
How far away are they?
100 feet. The
Ice storm.
closest one is 100. Okay. If you cast Ice Storm, you will hit the wormling as well. Are you okay with that?
No.
Okay.
There's no possible way to angle it.
So the wormling is only like 15 feet up from the goblins.
Okay.
It's
well,
like right above them.
How about instead we'll just do a lightning bolt? Which is exactly
Just on the goblins? Okay.
Yeah, fuck those things.
Okay.
It's a blue wormling, so the lightning bolt shouldn't hurt it. It wouldn't even hit it
won't
anyways.
hit it.
That's great.
Okay,
Well,
roll me your damage, and what's your spell DC?
This is Dex 17.
Okay. Okay.
Shoo! She's like basically like, shoo, get out of here.
Roll the damage, please.
23.
23. Goblins base don't have that many hit points. And they all failed.
Crispy.
So you say, shoo! As this lightning bolt surges through the three goblins, they immediately fall over. They're dead. Two of the hyenas immediately flee. The third hyena is also dead.
Lorna, like, she had, like, cast through her staff because that's how she does lightning bolt, and she just kind of brings it to her chest and says, oh, ooh, that was stronger than I thought it was going to be.
Holy shit! Well, I have no love for evil dragons, but, well, that didn't seem fair by anyone's means.
It's a baby. Lorna will look up at the wormling and say in Draconic, you can come down now.
The wormling does, slowly but surely, climb down the ribs. It looks at you warily, and slowly begins to eat the corpse of one of the hyena that fell.
Oh. Okay.
You get that this wormling is days old.
Oh, it's just a baby.
But it's, it's cautious and afraid of you because you did just lightning the shit out of 5 monsters. And like once it's like got the hyena in its mouth, because it, even though as a baby, it's still a medium creature. It like slinks away, kind of limping as its wing is wounded, trying to get into safety.
Well, that doesn't stop it.
Okay,
She just doesn't like bullies.
that's fair. The blue wormling, with it looks just like a blue dragon, but with like very like young infantile features. Like the ridge in its nose is very tiny. It's just like a tiny little hole
Oh, just
above
a
its
puppy.
nose, and it has eyes much too big for its head. It almost looks it almost
Comical.
looks, yeah, it almost looks funny. It's an ugly little shit. But you save it from its plight by goblins. And it retreats with a meal, basically.
That thing will either grow up and take to heart a lesson in fairness, or it will grow up and become a menace like most blue dragons, and Lorna will be responsible for many deaths in the future. But that's, she's already responsible for many deaths in the
Nothing new
past.
there,
It's
yeah.
fine. Nothing new there.
Yeah. Okay. And we continue onward.
It'll be the first good blue dragon, or it'll be just like any other blue dragon.
As you're walking, Anscombe says, I think I've heard of this place. They call it the Worm Cradle.
Oh. Oh. Are baby dragons often born here?
They say it used to be some sort of seat of draconic power. And a hatchery?
Oh, I don't often hear of dragons kind of congregating in the same place peacefully,
Yeah.
especially not chromatic ones.
We have to be careful. Because,
Yes, clearly.
no, if this is the Worm Cradle, that means that there's magical weather out here.
Oh.
Like, we might come across a glass wind.
Oh, that sounds awful. Is it what it sounds like?
It's a sandstorm of glass. It's horrible.
Lorna looks at Norre. How quickly can you cast that bubble?
Not fast enough.
Yeah. Oh.
At best, 10 minutes.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, we should hurry on through, shouldn't we?
Oh, if just a huge storm of glass comes, man, fuck this country. Are you serious?
And be stripped to
That shit
pieces.
never happens in Trident. Or at sea. Well, they call it the Sea of Glass for a reason. You know that,
Yeah,
right?
Anscombe, defend your homeland from us foreigners.
I will. There's lots of magic shit that happens out here, okay? These are the stories you grow up with when you're a wee little half-orc babe. Okay? This is important that we know this. And if I didn't remember that, we would just get caught with our pants down in a storm of glass. So, hey, maybe a little thanks is in order.
You're doing great.
Yeah. And he kind of just, like, harumphs and begins leading the way. I think we touched a soft spot.
Like you did. I didn't do anything wrong.
I think I touched a soft spot.
There you go. Accountability.
Anscombe, well, how does that even happen? A storm of glass? And he, like, runs after him. All right, I need you to roll me a d6.
How much glass hurts us? 5. 5 glass.
Okay. All right. Here's what happens. As you continue onward, you come out of the worm cradle, out from underneath this huge ribs of bone sticking out of the sand, and you continue onward, heading north. You start seeing signs of activity over the next few hours. You start seeing, in the distance, caravans that are set up, basically, to camp. You know you're getting closer to Shona because now that there's actually signs of life, the desert doesn't quite seem so empty or barren. It's still very much a desert, and it's still very much inhospitable. But when you can see a couple, 1,000 feet away, another wagon is set up and a small cook fire is out. It's a relief.
It is.
Skolna, from in the back of the party, suddenly says, "We're being followed."
Oh, shit. By who?
A rock.
Rock? A bird?
No, a rock. She points, and you
Just
see that
looks.
in the middle of the desert, behind you, just in the sand, is a small, round, gray stone. It stands out amongst the sand as all the sand is yellow and pale. This gray stone looks a bit like a river rock. It's not perfectly round, but it's close, and it is about the size of a grapefruit, just there.
Lorna looks at Skolna. That's following us?
Skolna nods.
It's been rolling after us?
No. It has legs.
What?
Watch. Skolna, takes a few steps away from the rock, and you suddenly see, 4 little spindly legs come out of the rock at the bottom, and it just walks forward the same distance Skolna moved.
What? Has Lorna ever heard of something like this? Rock with legs.
Roll, I guess this is an Arcana check.
14?
Okay. You don't know.
Dare? Dare.
Yeah?
You speak rock, don't you?
No.
Primordial.
Oh. Yeah.
Ask that rock what it wants.
Tier approaches. And he says something in Primordial. The rock does not respond. And he looks over at Iravane, who is just, listening. And he shrugs. And Iravane just, settles and looks uncaring.
Mm-hmm.
Is it magical?
I have no idea.
Well, look at it with your special eyes, you muppet.
Oh. What's a muppet?
You.
She looks at it with her tech magic. With her special eyes.
So, you do see a hint of transmutation magic around this, but not entirely. And you are reminded of the golems that patrol the Merigard Academy, the same sort of nature. You think this is a magical construct.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't know what or why. You just think that's what it is.
She casts Mage Hand and tries to pick it up.
You pick it up.
She turns it over. Does she see little legs?
Yeah, they're folded up underneath it.
Oh, that's so cute.
Oh my God.
She turns it. I love everything. She turns it right side up. Is there a face? She'll turn it around every which way.
No, it looks like a smooth stone. It doesn't really seem to have a face at all.
She'll walk up to it. She's still holding it with the Mage Hand. Hello?
When you get closer, you see the feet are extended and it's trying to walk backward and it can't.
Oh, it's supposed to keep a distance from me.
That's what it seems like, yeah.
It's gonna just knock on it.
It's hard
Hello?
stone. It, your knuckle hurts a little bit. There is no response.
She just looks at the rest of the party. It's supposed to follow us. I'm getting that much.
Why?
I don't know. To spy on us?
Hang on, I'm rolling.
We do have people after us.
This is a very strange method of following people. Anscombe, who rolled a natural 20.
Nice.
I remember stories of precognitive stonemasons, wizards and sorcerers who would etch memory into rock, using runes to keep secrets and tell stories over generations. This might be part of it.
Why would it follow us?
If what my uncle taught me is true, it's following those with a fractured soul.
That just sighs.
It's curious because it thinks you have a story to tell it.
I mean, maybe I do. It just absorbs stories. Like, if I just told it my story, it would leave me alone.
I think if you cast something like legend lore, you can learn everything that's in it.
Okay. She's gonna wrap it up in like a scrap cloth, like a scarf or something,
Okay.
and just tie a little bow on top and stick it in her bag.
Okay.
Got a little guy now.
Please make a note in your inventory that you have an impression stone.
Okay. Impression stone. Any notes other than that?
It occasionally tries to move.
It just wiggles.
Yeah. It can't extend its legs with the wrappings, so it just kind of shifts a little bit.
She just hucks it into the void of her bag of holding. So it wipes her hands together and says, well, let's go.
There's a lot of weird shit out here.
Yeah. Yeah, there is. Good eye, Skolna.
She just shrugs. You see rocks that follow you. Hard to miss.
Yeah.
Okay, you do that. You have an impression stone. And we continue onwards.
Mm-hmm.
All right. As you're traveling towards Shona, is there anything you wish to accomplish before you get to the city?
Nope.
Okay. Then, based on my rolls, we will progress to the next day when, not early in the morning, but in the morning, you and Tier and your group are following and you suddenly hear running water. And you realize this must be the farthest east leg of the Kayan Delta. You are approaching Shona.
Oh, shit.
As you crest the nearest cliffs, you start hearing the sounds of other wagons and horses as they approach. And, sure enough, as you crest the stone cliffs north of you, you see before you the walled city of Shona.
Oh, we made it.
Okay. I know we have a Hydra to find and stuff, but I mean, maybe let's take a day, huh?
Well, the thing about that is we just need to check in with the person who asked for our services. I think we should do that in a timely manner because then that particular part of the task is completed and there's no more time crunch. Then we can sort ourselves, figure out how we're going to deal with the Hydra, and that can be on our own schedule. We just need to touch base with this person first.
As Tierre replies to you, you instead hear in your mind,
Oh god.
do not forget
I
your
know.
task.
I know. Guard outside Shona, right-hand side of the glideway, leaning against the wall, half helmet made of bronze. When I find him, give him 50 gold pieces, don't speak, don't greet, don't answer him, and walk away.
Good.
I won't
do
disappoint
listen.
you.
I know. You feel like the horns in your head warm a little.
Ah,
They don't hurt. They're just warm.
I know. That's more of an frustration. Yes, I just remembered that they're there. She hasn't seen a mirror in a minute.
Yeah. And as you begin to walk your way down the cliffs, following the clearly like man-made steps in the stones, you pass by lots of small carvings in the stone, evidence of people that have explored and hiked up this way, names and previous adventures that are written here. And as you get to the bottom, you feel Skolna suddenly, like, yank you backward. As
Yes.
just in front of your face, an arrow right
Oh, shit.
in front of you. Revealing himself as he attacked is a familiar individual.
What? The guy we killed?
Yeah.
And his twin fucking brother in that hideout in Siren's Respite?
Yeah.
This guy has clones.
As
Or there's a really big family.
As he misses, you hear him say, well, shit. And we are going to roll initiative, but we don't have time for the full combat.
No! Thanks
So,
for saving my life, Skolna. Again.
yep. Please, if you could, roll me initiative.
I rolled so bad.
You rolled a 9.
I did. She's
Okay.
just stunned.
This is what we will come back to next session, as you are ambushed by your friendly neighborhood assassin.
Who is this guy?
He's doing his best. And at the end of the session, I want to thank you for playing with me. I hope you had a good time. And to those of you who are at home or at work listening, hi, Pen. Hi, Emily. Hi, class. Hi, everybody else. We got through the desert, everyone.
Way.
As we come to the end of the session, thank you for playing with me. I hope you had a good time. I will see you all next time.
Bum bum.
Bum, 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 bum.